Welcome to this Getting Started tutorial of Adobe Premiere CS6. As you know, one of the hardest things about Adobe programs is getting started. In Paint, when you open it up, there's already a place to start drawing, but Photoshop opens up to nothing. With Movie Maker, you can open it up and get a timeline, but Premiere opens up to a welcome screen that you can't close and there's no timeline. So we'll go ahead and assume that you've got it installed and everything, so we'll go ahead and start running it. Once it loads, you get your welcome screen that you can't close without exiting the program. See, just closed it. So how do you get to a timeline? Well, Premiere works by using projects, so we have to just make a new project. Now here's where people run into problems. They try to change stuff and don't understand what any of this means, and so they think that every time they do a new project, they have to deal with all of this. Well, first off, your video rendering and playback. If you can use the Mercury playback engine with CUDA, use it. If not, you're stuck with software only. Don't change it otherwise. We don't care about this. I mean, basically leave it in timecode. Frames you can always change. You don't need anything else. You're not a movie maker doing film. So leave it in timecode. This, audio samples is great. Capture format doesn't matter. That's for tape capture. It can't do capture from USB devices like webcams and gamer captures and so on. So don't even bother with this. It doesn't matter what it says because it doesn't affect anything. Scratch disks is where it does all of its temporary files and so on. Usually stick it to same as project. Custom should be reserved for people that know their drive layout and it's their own machine where they want to put things. Documents is another place that you can use if for some reason same as project doesn't make sense or doesn't work. But I would always say for beginners and newbies, don't touch it in general, but leave it as same for project for all of these things. Alright, so to pick where you want to save it and so on, you hit browse and that brings up a regular selector, but this is only selecting your folder and not your file name. So doing this actually picks a folder and not a file. So we'll just do my Premiere CS6 folder here and select that folder. It's good. Now this is where we actually name our project. So we'll do this Getting Started. Alright, and this is the second problem with starting a project in Premiere, but only in the CS6 and older version. It asks you this: if you're a beginner or you don't know exactly what any of this means, hit cancel. Do not spend another moment on here. Don't look at it, don't think about it, don't try to look for something that you think is right. It's probably wrong. If you don't understand exactly what's going on here, hit cancel. Don't name a sequence, don't hit OK, hit cancel. We'll go into a tutorial on how to use this later, but I recommend that all beginners simply hit cancel. And now you're actually into Premiere. So, you see there's a timeline, but you can't actually bring anything out to the timeline. Why? Because you have to add it to your project first. And there's two ways to do that. You can double click in here and then select a file. Or you can drag in from Windows Explorer your file and drop it in. So once you get whatever files that you're working on to edit into your project thing, you can make a new sequence. Well, what's the easy way to do that? Well, just right click the thing, new sequence from clip. That saves all the confusion of figuring out everything about your video to make a correct sequence. It'll just pick very intelligent things to start with. So there you go, you now have a video in there. The last few things I'll show with getting started, you can use these drop downs to actually look at things in more detail, such as looking at the waveforms or getting thumbnails if you need them. And remember that if you want to add more clips, simply drop in things and you can just slide it out then. Now when you want to continue a project you were working on, when you start up Premiere, you get your welcome screen. You can either do open project or your list of recent projects is right there and you can just go ahead and click on it and you're back to going. You don't have to find out where you saved it. For details on actually editing, check out my tutorials that are coming up. This is just a getting started and getting into Premiere. Remember, save often. Alright, thanks for watching my first video on Adobe Premiere CS6. If you're interested in more tutorials like this one or more tips and tricks, subscribe. Or if you're interested in tutorials for the newer versions of Adobe Premiere, such as the Creative Cloud, please subscribe. They will be coming out soon. Thanks for watching.